Well, Joe, you tell me when, and I'll just start, and we will get to it.
Hey guys, welcome to the start of when I click recording. I've already clicked record and streamed. Okay, take it away, Adam.
Thank you. Okay. Welcome again to the Infamous Storytellers podcast. I am your host, the Infamous Storyteller. Today we will be covering chapter 13 in my book, My Little Cemetery, and it is titled Private Collection.
All right, let us begin.
Brandon,
So,
It doesn't
Brandon,
look like to be bleeding over.
I should
Brandon,
hear Oblivion.
Yeah, that's weird. Give me a moment. And so I
I
look over and I see it's green. I'm like,
He's
what?
he's gonna get us copyright struck on a
Oh,
video
just let me
game.
know if you need
It's
someone
Sir
to worship the
Patrick
ground you
Harris.
walk
What's
on.
he gonna do? They're
next on
talking.
Boulder's Gate.
Next
This
time.
is actually Oblivion. Thank you.
It's
How
like
about
the
now?
same thing.
Oh, that goes through my speakers. Why does that go through
It's
my
like
speakers?
ones and zeros.
Hold on.
Wow.
Like that, but not is that.
Do you guys want to hear my hot evolution take?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Uh,
Kill it.
it's still going through my headset.
yeah, it is. It's a
That's-
miracle.
Christmas miracle.
It's like it's just-
Fine.
I'm gonna mute my mic. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, but Brandon,
But Brent,
we need you to. Oh, that didn't help. It's still talking to us.
you have a
It's still
microphone
going
somewhere.
through.
You have an
Yeah.
extra
Yeah.
microphone somewhere.
You have a hot
Oh,
mic somewhere.
Wait a second. Why did it default to the mic on my head?
We can
No,
hear you,
yeah,
Brandon.
yeah.
I also have a second microphone.
Does it
Leah,
sound like I'm
oh,
rubbing
he's
my mic?
listening.
Microphone.
I'm so glad we started and that we're all ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Hey guys, it's one of those days. It's okay.
It's fixed.
It's been just a rough day. It's okay.
Is it? Are you sure?
No, it's not.
Let's all
No.
be quiet and listen.
Okay, everybody listen.
Uh, um, can y'all hear the dialogue?
It's your lucky
Yes.
day.
It's your lucky day. We can.
What? Let's go to settings. Text size, There's no mic in this game, is it? Oh, wait a second. Headphones. Audio mode.
Oh, maybe I need to turn my audio up so I can hear.
Confirm.
Doing some minor adjustments.
Did y'all hear me get threatened?
I don't think so. Do it again.
Yeah, but it was in my head. So
Yes.
What's new? So I installed an update on my computer. Let me. Okay, cool. Quick stays the same button. I'm gonna close this out. How do we close out this game? Oh my goodness.
Control Alt.
Here we are. Scroll.
Control Alt Delhi, right?
Delhi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Control
Um,
Delhi.
Control Alt
Delali?
Delhi. Delhi, yeah.
Control Al Dali.
Delhi.
Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
who painted the melty clock.
Oh, hey, him, yeah.
Yeah, Control Al Dali.
Can you hear me now?
We can always hear you, Brandon.
We can hear you, yes. That is not the problem.
I apologize. This has never happened. Um, I'm not playing any game with dialogue anymore, so. you know
Okay.
that.
Okay, we'll start then. Welcome to the Infamous Storytellers podcast.
I'm gonna have to
I am your
cut so
host,
much out.
the Infamous Storyteller. We'll just get into it. We're in chapter 13.
Let's
ahead.
go! Don't forget to smash your keyboard. and punch your monitors. Okay. 13. A private collection. I was back in the Rockies, seeing images I had not seen in years. My cousin was at my side. We were running, terrified through the woods, darting between trees, scrambling over rocks, and around boulders surrounded by tall pine trees. I could hear the raspy sound of air being sucked down a dry throat. It drove us through the wood to a small cave opening on our left. My stomach flipped as I heard myself, surprisingly calm, yell to my cousin, "Cave! It can't fit!" I wanted to scream. "No! Keep running! Don't go down there!" But as I watched, he scrambled in, and I followed. We crawled frantically. I could feel a massive hand close around my leg. I woke to my face being slapped. I could taste blood. The sound of jet engines powering down entered my subconscious. "He quit screaming. Is he awake?" asked a gruff voice. "I don't know, but if he starts again, I'm going to put a ball gag in his mouth," answered a second. "He was screaming the whole flight?" asked the first. "Yes, didn't matter how much I hit him. He won't shut up," grumbled the second. "We all know the best way to keep people asleep is to hit them a lot." I stayed limp, not wanting them to know I was awake, though I couldn't stop my body from quivering. I did not have many memories from my trip to the Rockies. I had been pretty messed up. Whatever they had injected me with had brought one back. I was not a fan. They dragged me out of a small jet and laid me on a cement floor. The jet engines trailed off as bags were tossed down next to me. I would have tried running if I had not been hogtied. The two men picked me up, dragged me down a flight of stairs, set me on a rolling table, then pulled me into an elevator. One of the men pushed a button labeled "The Jungle," and the elevator started to descend. "Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games." It was a long minute before the door opened, and they rolled me out into a large, empty room. By now I'd gotten my wits mostly back and opened my eyes. The two men were dressed in black uniforms with helmets. Not an inch of skin was visible. The room they were pushing me through was dotted with hatches, much like manholes you see in the middle of the street, but they were fashioned to the floor with massive bolts. The men weaved through until they reached one that was extra large, in comparison to the others, set in the center of the room. One of the men began unbolting the trap door with a massive air drill. The bolts were easily as thick as my arm, and about 3 feet long. He pulled each bolt out with a winch attached to some sort of rail system running over each trap door. Once the bolts were removed, he clipped the winch onto the massive lid. The winch's motor whined as it slowly lifted the impressive 2-foot-thick steel lid up and out of the way. "Come on, let's get him in." The two men pulled me from the rolling table and over to the hole. He shoved something in my jeans back pocket before they dropped me. I couldn't do anything to stop them. I expected to hit the ground hard, but I landed on something soft. I could feel it deflating. The metal lid shut with a resounding shunk. Well, I wasn't getting out that way. I reached in my back pocket and found a pair of handcuff keys. As the stunt pad deflated beneath me, I fumbled with the handcuffs, freeing my hands, then feet. A light illuminated a hall in front of me. I took the handcuffs in my right hand. They were not a good weapon, but it was better than nothing. I walked down the hall into a massive staged exhibit. 5-foot-thick plexiglass ran around my enclosure. It was large, about the size of 3 trailer homes slapped together. The ceiling was a good 20 feet high. Fake pine trees were placed upright, reaching to the very top. A stream ran through the middle. I walked around, looking for whatever else they were holding here. I could see other smaller exhibits were placed around this one.
This isn't the nerd.
What do you think, Buster Hutter? Will it hold a horror? The man from my cabin asked through a speaker set in the roof. I found a man standing on the far side of the enclosure, looking through the 5-foot-thick glass. He smiled at me, tapping the glass from the other side. I could barely hear it. He spoke again, the microphone in his lapel picking up his every word. "Well, what do you think?" I shook my head. "You'll never get it down here." I think it'll claw its way through the glass eventually, if you did. I found that highly doubtful, but we have precautions for that. He pressed a button, and a thick wall of steel began to rise from the floor and lower from the ceiling. I took a step back. He stopped the wall with another press of the button, and they retracted. He smiled at me. His eyes were abnormally large. I was still having trouble categorizing him. Vampire? Wolf? A fae? He healed too quickly from a bullet to the head, so probably fae. I may have underestimated you, I said stiffly. His smile widened. Have you come around then? I looked around the enclosure and let out a long breath. No, but it would be better for it to be here than roaming free. Go back and I'll have my men escort you to my sitting room. His men pulled me up on the winch and led me through a maze of tunnels. They brought me out on a balcony suspended on the side of a cliff. Was I in Wyoming? The land around was very desolate. It was definitely somewhere in the Rockies. The man sat at a glass table, a glass of wine in front of him. He didn't turn from looking out over the barren landscape until I sat down across from him. He let out a sigh, turning to me. He studied me a long time before taking a drink. My men said you screamed uncontrollably the entire flight over the mountain. I didn't believe them until they sent a video. He placed a tablet on the table and clicked play. I watched myself laying bound in the back of the jet and listened as I screamed bloody murder and moaned, rocking from side to side. You are a completely different person in your dreams, it appears. He smiled at me. You're also viral on YouTube, but that's another story. It didn't take my eye from my quivering form until he pulled the tablet away, pausing the video. You're a monster hunter? How's that possible? You seem so terrified. He was trying to get under my skin, and it was working. My brain was warming up, starting to cycle through those lost images. I couldn't keep from moving, so I let my foot start tapping. Monster hunter. I don't hunt horrors. Please, aren't they the same? He leaned back in his chair. It's all a matter of perspective, don't you think, Anthony? He said my name as if we were lifelong friends. I hadn't known he knew it. Dare I ask your name? You may call me Mr. Edgewood. I was edgelord in high school, but I had to grow out of it. Well, Mr. Edgewood, what do you want to know that I haven't already told you, and what will you be paying for it? He laughed out loud. You are quite the conniver, Anthony, but you are right. You need to know where we stand. You are mine now, part of my collection. A monster hunter just seemed fitting to add to the collection of beasts. Oh, you don't like the idea? He smirked at my scowl. Oh, but don't worry. I am a good master. You'll behave and your life will be better than most who consider themselves free. So name what you want, and it will be provided as long as you jump and sit at my every command. Like what? Oh, really anything. You seem to like having that vampire around. She or someone like her could be yours if you want, depending on your obedience. The sky really is the limit, seeing as you will be spending most of your time under the earth. He chuckled. You're caught up with her then. Soon. You're interested? Not nearly as I am in my own freedom. That is not on the table, Mr. Edgewood replied. Not even if I brought you the Grendel? I'm just doing the same voice the whole time. He's just talking to himself. He's like, this is what Anthony's going to say.
I'm trying to be patient because you've ruined this character. So I'm trying to let it go. But don't let it bleed.
You encourage
the rest of the story.
The nerdy voice. It's not on the table. Not even if I brought you the Grendel. You're going to share what you know one way or the other.
Continue.
So no. You misunderstood.
You need water?
That's the sound of water. I said I'll go and get it, hunt it down and bring it back to you. Oh, interesting. It's suddenly possible to catch it? Go on, I'm listening. I took a deep breath. I sticked by what I said, but I'm willing to try if it means that I'm a free man. That's just not good enough, Anthony. It's time to tell you what else you know. It's time
Okay, okay,
you
okay.
tell
So
me
nerdy
what
voice,
else
you've completely
you
lost the
know.
plot. I can't be quiet. Originally it was more high pitch.
Yeah, but now
It
I'm
was more like,
talking more
"Hey,
seriously. I'm being more serious. This is my serious nerdy voice.
We don't know any nerds that actually sound like that.
I think Adam just wants you to pick one and stick with it and not change.
I am just probably pushing all your buttons today, and I apologize. I'm not totally meaning it. Do you want me to just stick to this guy's voice? I think this is where it's at, where it's more high pitch.
That is a
see if
lot
it
higher.
was more high pitched than that.
More
but,
high pitch
you
than
know.
that?
Ah, there we go.
Well,
Okay.
Joe is also doing it into the phone.
No.
There was
in the
never a
cabin.
time where that guy's voice was on the thing.
Oh, never mind.
That's just not good enough, Anthony. It's time you tell me what else you know. Then we can settle comfortably into your exhibit, and I will collect my prize. Well, it seems you're back to putting a cap in my head. He frowned. Well, that is unfortunate, but you will learn to bend to my wishes in time. He walked over to the railing, absently tapping the tablet, and resuming the sounds of my own screaming. Oh, it's already gone viral. I wonder how long it'll take for you to break. It'll be good fun for the doc. He seemed to want to watch you live. Chills ran down my body at the sound of my own screaming. His men grabbed me roughly and dragged me back through the metal door and rough-cut stone hallways to a clean operating room. They strapped me down onto a table, and the same fat man as before appeared, smiling as he injected me with another syringe and began setting up a camera as the waves of fire started to run over my body. Now we're on to chapter 14.
Wait. Oh, never mind.
Yep, keep talking. Keep
No,
talking.
no. Speak your mind.
I just thought, I was like, wait, 14. That's an even number. We've already read 2 chapters because I don't know how I got lost. Also, my mic should be muted. Am I going through my headset again?
Unsure.
It sounds like it.
Probably.
Y'all need to tell me this stuff.
No.
We prefer the low quality audio, actually.
It really sets
really
the
helps
tone.
though, with the views.
It's going to help with the views. When I plug this into the AI-generated shorts thing, oh, it's going to be so good.
Oh, don't do that. Now it's muted because I don't know why I have chest congestion. I've been coughing, so I've been muting my mic
Oh.
and
But
trying not to be rude.
But
And it's just not working out tonight, guys. I'm so sorry.
just be rude.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna carry on.
We're all on edge today.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay. Good luck with that. Chapter 14. Dark Recollections. The next few weeks was a fever dream. I'd be running with my cousin. We'd make it to that terrifying cave, and I would wake up screaming to the feeling of a massive bony hand grasping my leg. The medical room would come into view, and there the doctor waited to apply the next dose, sending me right back. That can't be healthy. I don't know how long I lived at that nightmare before I awoke in my exhibit. The furniture around me was Victorian. My body quavered uncontrollably, and my soul felt empty and hollow. I crawled into a corner of the room, my eyes scanned for the monster that had killed my cousin. My wits were scrambled. I sat there for hours, eyes darting as they caught glimpses of long, gray fingers. My whole body flinched at the sound of a door being opened. The 2 men were back to take me for the 7th time. He'll break soon. We will see. Well, who's this?
I think it's one of the 2 men.
It's probably one of the 2 men. Yeah, we will see. I think another week. You willing to talk now like a good pup and tell the master what he needs to know? A man nudged me with his boot. No. My voice was all but gone due to my constant screaming. See, he's tougher than you thought. Let's get some food in him. You're not you when you're hungry. A man placed a platter on the floor next to me. It smelled good. bacon, eggs, and mashed potatoes. A strange mix, but I didn't care. I grabbed the plate and ate slowly as my head pounded. Then I curled up and fell asleep. If I dreamed, I do not remember. I woke on the operating table, feeling better with only a slight headache. The doc hovered over me, smiling. Your sleep is remarkably deep and restorative. You also scream less. Are you ready to talk? Is he willing to let me go? You're not ever going to be let go. You're part of Master Edgewood's collection. Best to come to grips with it. I dreaded the needle, but it was better to be driven insane than lose my bargaining chip. I didn't know anything else. I'd go insane anyway if I was locked away. I'd rather they kill me trying to get the information that wasn't there. There's no way to kill or capture the Rocky Mountain Horror. I felt the bite of the needle and was gone again. This time was different. I was not running, but hanging by my feet in a lava tube. Firelight flickered around me. I felt air on my back from exposed muscle and smelled strips of my own skin cooking on a small fire. My cousin's mutilated body was hanging next to me. He was barely alive, well past saving. Victor appeared in front of me, lowered me down, and dragged me through the tunnel to my father, who stood at the entrance of the small cave. He had some sort of thick, smoldering stub, much like the end of a used cigar, albeit larger.
You alive?
Am I alive? What?
This is awkward as Joe has an existential crisis about his life.
Maybe I had a hiccup in my recording. I
He was
got
having
to
a hiccup with speaking.
oh, and dragged him through the tunnel to my father.
Yeah, which I did read.
Okay. Okay.
Who stood
Yeah.
at the entrance of a small cave. He had some sort thick, small... it's me that can't read these words in order. He had some sort of thick, smoldering stub, much like the end of a used cigar, albeit larger in his left hand and a handgun in the other. He's alive? How? My father's voice quivered. What of your son? He's far too gone, but I cannot leave him to suffer. Victor's rough voice was grim. Yeah, it wasn't too rough. I'll try again next time. My father glanced at the dwindling stub in his hand. Go quickly, we don't have much time. Victor nodded, pulling his 1911 from his holster, the same one he'd given me. A deafening gunshot echoed through the cave, and Victor reappeared with fresh blood spattered across his hand and arm. Tears dripped from his bloodshot eyes. We can kill it. We have time if we could just drop back in, Victor urged. No, my father said. Anthony may not make it if we try. Victor looked at me. It's our last talisman. We won't ever be able to kill it if we leave now. My father looked down at me, then nodded soberly to Victor. Let's hurry. My father knelt down and seared the inside of my forearm with the burning talisman. The two men tore off running in pursuit of their prey, leaving me to die, or so it felt. I lay staring up at the starry sky, waiting for the thing to return and strip the rest of the skin from my bones. I woke up in the Gothic room, curled up against the glass. I was losing it. Every shadow was terrifying bony fingers, or Victor's face splattered with the blood of my cousin. I was having a hard time controlling my breathing. A hand touched my shoulder. I flinched violently. Turning, I found the redhead from the store was crouched over me. Eyes wide and a little apprehensive, she slowly pulled her hand back. I was still dreaming. I curled back into a ball, closing my eyes. He must hate you. Her voice was too real and familiar. I opened my eyes again, head still throbbing. She was still there, coming in and out of focus. Are you real? I found myself asking. Her irritating smile broke across her lips. She grabbed the front of my jacket, pulled me roughly to my feet, and stood me up against the wall. I was surprised her small frame could muster the strength. My head throbbed again, and I tried to fall back onto the floor, but she held me firm. You broke easier than I would have thought after hearing Lauren's stories about you, but she's got a bit of Stockholm syndrome, so I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. I dropped to the side. Stand up, we don't have much time. You're not what I was looking for, but leaving you here to rot would make things more difficult. Come on. She pulled me forward, forcing me to take a step. My head pounded with the movement. I leaned on her, and she walked me out of my exhibit, down a maze of mine shafts, and up a flight of familiar stairs to the hangar. The jet was missing, but a propeller plane was sitting ready to taxi right outside the hangar. This was most definitely a dream. She leaned me against the plane, popping the cockpit open. She helped pull me up and onto the wing, then pushed me tumbling into the cockpit. She climbed over me, pulling the hatch shut behind her before settling herself down in the pilot's seat. She pulled out a remote that looked very similar to the one Edgewood had been using from her pocket and started mashing buttons. What are you doing? I muttered. Giving your host a present for when he gets back. She started the engine. We were out and on the dirt runway in mere moments. She gunned the engine, and I felt sick as the plane lifted off the ground. Not the painful dream I'd been hoping for, but far better than the nightmares I'd been experiencing. I wished for pure, sweet blackness, and it came soon enough. I woke to the sound of a pump and the smell of gasoline wafting through the air. I was alone in the back of the propeller plane. The redhead was chatting with a man in a fluorescent vest who was pumping gas. They were speaking French, or that's what I thought. My nerves were shot and my body quivered, still affected by the drugs that had been pumped into me. But my mind was working. The feeling of terror was consistent, ebbing in and out. I was ready to cry, scream, or mess someone up. I wasn't sure which urge was the strongest. I sat up. The man nodded to me. The redhead looked a bit troubled that I was awake, but smiled and said something to the attendant, then walked around the plane to me. She popped open the cab, climbing in. We're about to take off, she said nonchalantly, like we were old friends on a trip. You sleep well? Enough. Mind if I sit up front? Climb on up. I sat there, strangely relieved to be sitting next to the redhead. I let my head flop back against the headrest. The pump stopped, and the attendant pulled out the hose and replaced the cap, giving a thumbs up to the redhead. She started the engine, tossing me a pair of comms from the dash. I put them on and listened as she talked to the flight controller, rolled out onto the taxiway, then proceeded to take off. Let's go. I get to use the phone again. There's some food in the glove box. Her voice crackled over the headset. I popped it open and found a bag of trail mix. I munched on it. It was very stale, but I needed to get my strength up as soon as possible. Where are we going? We're picking up Lauren, then heading back to the States. The collector will be right on our tail. Oh, I have to use this all the whole time. I'd ask how you got me out, but the real question is why? I asked frankly. Chance. You were in the right place at the right time. Huh. She let out a shrill laugh. I'm not going to try doing a shrill laugh. You're not thinking I was purposely trying to find you of all people? She asked, giving me a wicked smile. I shook my head. No, not in a million years. If I were you, I wouldn't have gone to the trouble of recovering me. So why did you? We have a mutual friend. If I left you, they would have been upset. Amber shifted the airplane slightly to the left. Who would that be? I asked. She smiled and shook her head. I'll let them tell you if they choose. It's too much fun keeping you in the dark. You don't really need to know. Trouble is, I have a lot of friends that she could be referring to. Hobbs rose to the top of the list along with Grace. Regardless, she should know better. I don't have a reputation of playing nice, and she seemed to know. We flew in silence for a few hours until she touched us down in another airport in the boonies. Amber looked over at me. Oh, we touched down. No more headset. Climb in the back. Lauren doesn't know I brought you. I'd like to give her a heads up before she sees you. I crawled into the back of the plane and found a spot between some suitcases. Amber parked next to a pump, and an attendant started to fill it up. She got out and headed for a small airport. Not long after, Amber reappeared with Lauren, who was dragging a couple of suitcases. Lauren looked at me warily as Amber had handed me 2 bags. They climbed in and put on headsets. I settled back against the luggage and pretended to sleep. From time to time, Lauren would glance back at me. A few more stops that I don't remember, and we were back in Tennessee. I climbed out onto the tarmac at the regional airport. We waited in the parking lot for the lift. He showed up, and I loaded the suitcases in the trunk. He dropped us off at a storage unit 15 minutes from the airport. Amber led the way to a large unit and popped it open, revealing her Jeep. She closed the rolling door behind us. The 2 women looked at me, then glanced at each other. We should check you for a tracer before you go. My guess is you'll have something similar to Lauren. Amber dug around her Jeep and pulled out a small device like a plastic wand. She handed it to me after turning it on. Run it all over your body. They most likely injected it into your butt cheek or thigh, but he might have planted more than one, so it'd be good to be thorough. It'll pick up a tracking signal in metal, so it's best not to have to work around buttons and zippers. I'm having troubles working around. Okay. I took the wand. The 3 of us stood for a moment, looking at each other. I'm not going to strip in front of the 2 of you. This isn't an audition for Thunder Down Under. Dang. The redhead rolled her eyes, and Lauren's face flushed. Can Lauren's face do that? Is that biologically possible?
Flushed gray.
Lauren's face grayed, but in a blushy, cute
Yeah,
way.
I imagined going pale and was like, I don't know about that one.
Lauren's face went pale. It really changes the context.
It does. It really...
I didn't need that image in my head. Neither did we. You wouldn't make the cut. I can tell you that right now, the redhead stated, sarcastically. Come on, Lauren. We should find something to eat. She turned, pulling the rolling door open, and pulled it shut after them. And that is the end of chapter 14.
There we go.
Is it
There we go.
sarcastic if she believes it?
You can be sarcastically honest.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Okay.
So this is like exactly where I'm now in new territory after this chapter.
Yes.
Ooh, good.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So chapter 15 is where I stopped reading, or you stopped sending
This is exciting.
chapters.
Well, I'm glad you made it all the way to the Thunder Down Under reference.
I do recall making it to Thunder Down Under.
Anyway. No thoughts? We're just...
Thoughts?
Are we good?
I like the idea of a guy who's just collecting cryptids and being like, I'm going to put him in this facility and everything's going to be fine, because I've definitely not seen any movies where bad stuff happens every single time someone does that.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
Yeah.
He's literally...
None of the Jurassic Park movies exist in this universe. In fact, dinosaurs don't exist in this universe.
Again, we have dire wolves now. That's pretty exciting. And if they did somehow bring back a T-Rex, we have these things called guns. And let's say the guns weren't enough. We have these things called warthogs. Not warthogs. What are they called? No, it's the 8-tailed warthog, right?
8-tailed warthog.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not even a contest in all reality.
It's like that.
Yeah, my money's on the
What I'm
T-Rex. No, I'm
saying is
kidding.
he thinks he can take the Grendel.
Grendels are different. They're not dinosaurs. They're really scary. Warthogs can't do anything to a Grendel.
Grendel's are the
I'm
worst.
imagining a Tarrasque.
I don't know what a Tarrasque is.
I know what a Tarrasque
my
is.
sweet summer child.
A Tarrasque is not a Grendel. And also, it is
No.
impervious to probably bullets and
It
missiles
is.
and maybe a nuke.
Well, it sounds like a Grendel.
It's
and
it's
nuclear
way-
bombs, because we'll call that magic right there.
it's Godzilla
So
on
far, it
steroids,
tracks.
kind of.
Is it a
No, let me
Is it a
rephrase that.
reptile?
human-like?
It's
No,
Godzilla
so-
on crack.
I think it's a quadruped. I think a
Haven't
Tarrasque is
we
a
told Godzilla that's not healthy?
I know what quadruped
We
means.
haven't had that conversation with it yet.
Hold on. I'm looking up an image of a Tarrasque. Hopefully I run into one. Okay, so it is a bipedal dinosaur-looking thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Godzilla-ish.
But its arms are far more developed and can probably actually swing a stick.
Okay,
Very-
so it's not. Okay.
Yeah.
I could
Okay,
just
so-
see it picking up a phone tower.
Yeah, I probably
Yes,
could.
and
So
bonking
its
people.
strength is 30, its dex is 11. That's not important. Constitution is 30, intelligence 3, so it doesn't know how to talk. Wisdom and charisma are 11. Everything okay, so it's stupid. Its
So-
immunities are fire, poison, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks.
So it's a good tank. Like that's
So
a
what
it
you're
is
good.
not going to go
telling me-
down from an A10 warthog.
You're
So-
telling me there's a chance.
So, if you have a magical warthog, you're good.
If you have a
I thought
magical
its
warthog,
immunity was to magic. No.
No.
I
It's,
obviously was knowledge.
it's immune to non-magical.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So magic
Weapon.
warthog.
A magic warthog.
yeah. But first off, we gotta find like
A magic
Okay.
a
warthog.
pope,
All the
another
bullets will
pope
be
to bless
blessed.
it and
We
enchant
have
it
to
or
find the
something.
Pope to bless the
Look.
warthog.
And well, that's tough right now.
I think they
Oh.
decided.
This is
Have they
not a good
decided?
time.
This is not a good time for Tarrasque to be attacking the Vatican.
Let's see.
It's a bunch of
That's a
cardinals.
book
They'll
to
be fine.
write. That's a book to write.
Just a Godzilla-esque novel, except it's attacking.
I would do that, but it would be sacrilegious to all the.
And also, you're married to someone who
Catholics.
would really disagree with that. Just-
Well, she's not
Okay.
a Catholic, but yeah, she might get a little offended
I think she.
on behalf of
I
her.
think she would have
all her
opinions.
family.
Name is Catholic adjacent. Like
She's
is-
she's as Catholic as Catholics who go to church on Christmas in the sense.
She's actually more Catholic,
I mean
This
now.
is
but sure.
She can
I'm
disagree with
reading
me when
more.
she watches this episode. And she
There
can,
is so much here. Oh my goodness.
we have so much
um,
content.
It's got reflective carapace.
Oh.
Anytime
So it's
anytime the
shiny.
Tarrasque is targeted by a magic missile spell, a line spell, or spell that required a range attack roll, roll a d6. On a 1 to 5, the Tarrasque is unaffected. On a 6, the Tarrasque is unaffected, and the effect is reflected back at the caster,
What?
caster as though it originated from the Tarrasque, turning the caster into the target.
That's horrifying.
ah,
Okay,
Fireball.
so what you're
oh,
telling
this feels like
so what you're telling me is best chance is you go up to it, you do modify memory as a level 9 spell because it has terrible wisdom, and you convince it that it is dead.
But it's still. Oh, okay. The Tarrasque has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. And
Okay.
it has legendary resistances.
Ah, yeah. So it's just gonna be rough all around.
Not a great time for the Pope to
If,
be. That's all I'm saying.
if you get. Okay, if you get. Let's ballpark 5 popes together, alright? With
Okay.
9th level
Okay.
spells, there's a
Okay.
chance. Because they'll legendary resist 3 of them because it just can.
You could just do that.
And hopefully by the 5th one it worked.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
mathematically,
that's-
as long as you have 6 there,
yeah.
Okay, so
7,
we need a
really.
necromancer.
Well,
this
you
is
just,
need a
this
necromancer.
problem is
Yeah.
solved. I mean, if
Yeah,
you need
you're
6
right.
popes,
You're right. Yeah.
No.
So
You don't
really,
need necromancers. You just need a wizard with like either wish or
or a
or
bard
a
with wish.
wizard sorcerer with true resurrection. Because
So
Wow, this thing
another
is...
thing you could do
Necromancers are
is
cheaper.
there is a spell animate bones, and it does not say that you can't animate bones of someone who's currently alive. Just want you to think about that one.
That's a
Oh
fun little
my.
loophole.
Isn't that
Actually-
horrifying? That's a
Oh man,
spooky-
they thought of
You don't-
everything. This gets
Clarence,
worse.
what have
You
you
don't
done?
actually have to be a
Clarence,
necromancer then.
I didn't mean to.
Well, I mean,
So
that's basically what Katara does. She's
Yeah,
just
but
animate
the
blood.
thing is, animate bones is like permanent.
Oh,
You create a bone servant, essentially, which
A
means
bone
that
buddy.
that person loses, like, it's not even that they lose motor function. Well, they kind of
lose
lose motor
self.
function. If you tell them they can't go anywhere, well, if you tell their bones they can't go anywhere, they can't.
Okay, guys. Let's pause for a moment.
Are we
we
done
have
yet?
gone so far off track. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's fine.
Are we done
We
yet?
we now know that a Thrask is definitely not a Rocky Mountain horror, or a Sinew, or a Grendel, or whatever I
It's a Tarrasque.
called it. It's a
It's
Tarrasque.
a terrible.
It's got Tourette's.
It's got
No one
Tourette's.
Tarrasques you.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming. I think we're gonna end it there. And are we done yet?
Are we done yet?
are we done yet?
Not yet. Done.
How about now?